Nope.
But they love a guy who could cheat, because the guy who could cheat has those dark triad personality traits, and women want to bang him and other men want to be him. And that seems like a guy who would cheat or could cheat certainly has Machiavellianism, maybe a little bit of psychopathy. Certainly you combine that with a little bit of narcissism. That sounds like dark triad to me. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering if we should call it positive triad or bright triad or something else along that goes along.
Would be a good marketing term. Guys in the chat, $5 super chats. What do you think would be a great rebranding for dark triad?
Yeah.
I think popsicle masculinity. That's everybody likes popsicles.
Okay, winner. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at what point do you go, you know what? Women want masculine dominance. Okay, well, that entails a lot of dark, quote unquote, dark triad personality traits. There's certainly the big 5 personality traits that qualify or like in some way qualify for those dark triad traits. You know? So when people say, well, how is it that Ms. Tomasi is okay with you fucking around and joking around with thumbnails with Torsia? How is it okay that, you know, you have poor girls and you worked in the alcohol and, you know, you worked at doing promos? I mean, shit, I've done promos for what? Thunder Down Under, Thunder from Down Under, Sterling Cooper. You know, how is it okay that Rolo hangs out with porn stars, right? Well, it's not like I'm banging porn stars. First of all, she trusts me. And then second of all, it's like I'm the guy that other men want to be and other women want to bang. Okay. At least in a perceptual sense, that is certainly, and it's been that way since way before I was Rolo Tomasi, since when I was playing in the LA club scenes and in the band, since when I was, you know, working for casino marketing and promos, since when I was working in the clubs for wine and spirits, and since where I'm at right now. That's why I don't use myself as an example, that a metric for people to compare themselves against. Okay, because I have a unique set of circumstances. You're not me.
Unique set of
I'm
skills.
not you. The girls you're going to get with are not my wife. So that's. I think that's probably the most important lesson to remember in all of this.
The most important lesson is everything you're doing ain't going to be for my wife. Do you got it?
Yes, exactly. Don't use me as your example, as your proof of future success, because it's not going to happen for you. I mean, when you look at things like people ask me about all the time, what's hybristophilia? There it is. It's dark triad traits that women are attracted to. And you know what? Bring this up, as I said before, when you talk like the reason why Jackie O and Kyle rage quit on Fresh and Fit is because they have no counter argument to exactly this data that I just put in front of you right now.
Hey, who the hell's Jackie? Like Jackie Onassis?
They're the Australian radio station that, like, you probably don't know anything about this because you don't.
Oh yeah, no.
Shit.
I don't listen to bullshit. You know that.
They went on. I did a full show about this. They did a radio show for this talk radio show that was in Sydney, Australia. Jackie O and Kyle. And Kyle is probably the worst of the bunch, but like they wanted to challenge them on you guys say that high value men should cheat, right? Well, that's Fresh and Fit, right? They're baiting at that point, like by saying should. It's the same thing that Kevin Samuels did, right? I'm not saying should, okay, because I don't cheat on my wife, okay? But it's nice to know that you have other people who find you attractive. It's nice to know. It keeps that sense of urgency. It keeps that sense of competition anxiety. Mm-hmm. It keeps that value. We want to talk about, like, people asked me about this the other day. They said, what do you mean by polarity in a relationship? That's it right there. That's polarity. Because if I turn, it's like the Ballad of Clark Kent. If I'm Superman and I allow my wife to turn me into Clark Kent, I can't complain when I'm no longer a superhero and she goes and fucks Batman.
That's because what is it? Anxiety comes at the tail end of desire, or desire at the tail end of anxiety. People forget that dance.
Yes.
Girls, desire and anxiety are linked. Anxiety is like catnip. It's a Spanish fly. It's whatever reference you want to use. It makes girls hot for you. It's one of those alpha traits. Mm-hmm. But the problem is it also feels bad. It feels uncomfortable. And so girls are constantly fighting to have some comfort. So they remove the anxiety. And then that's the balance. That's the alpha and beta when you think about it. The anxiety turns them on, but the anxiety feels bad, so they want to turn it off. And it's kind of up to you to keep it where you're comfortable with. Some guys perfectly comfortable with their wife having high anxiety all the time, and maybe she can stick around, maybe not. Some guys are perfectly happy being 100% comfortable, zero sexual desire. Somewhere in there, and this is the whole point of calibration, is to find a level where, the anxiety is livable, but the sexual desire is livable. And where can you put that? And that's a personal choice you got to make. For Rolo, it's having the booze girls, and then the wife's like, "Hey, what are you out with the booze girls?" And you're for, "I'm not fucking the booze girls. Relax." And then your marriage is great because of it.
Yeah. And I
That's
know,
all it is.
right? Like,
And I hate we have to spend 3 hours talking about this stuff because it's once you hear it once, it's so on its face obvious. You kind of feel stupid for not thinking about it earlier.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the other thing is I got like, for instance, probably tonight, because I'm going to be getting on the plane for about a week stay in Miami. My wife's probably we're going to get after it tonight. I don't give you too much information here, but usually that's how it works, right? Well, he's going to be gone. So she, say, oh, well, you're going to be gone for a while. I would want to have sex with you before you go because it's going to be a week before we can get after it again. Okay. Well, there is that aspect of it, but it's also the fact that she knows I'm going to be on the after hour show, or I'm going to be on Sosnick's show, or I'm going to be on somewhere like I'm in Miami in Brickell, right? So Brickell, sorry. And that's, people say, oh, that's horrible. Why would she feel she have to do that? She's under the gun.
She wants to.
She's got a gun to her head. Well, let me also explain something to you. Whenever I was going to a liquor promo, she'd do the same thing. Whenever I was doing like a casino promo, same thing. Whenever I go play the cheap, sleazy ass dive bar in Altura's bar here in Reno, even with my band, it's like, okay, let's go. It's not again, like it's an internalized thing. It's just something. It's not like I'm saying you better do it or you're not. That never comes out of my mouth. In fact, the best day of my life is when I stopped keeping tabs. When I'm like, you know what? No quotas. You want to have sex with me? You have sex with me. That's fine. And it's like, oh, well, you're going to the gym, you're getting a promotion at work, you're going and hanging out with new people, you're doing new things, you're on your game, you're focusing on your entrepreneurship, and you're making money, and you're focusing on your physique and everything like that. And guess what? When that woman says, oh, my husband is someone who other men want to be and other women want to fuck, so I better, and he's saying, hey, don't worry about it. Just get to it when you get to it. She'll get to it, because now it's not overt. It's not an ultimatum. It's not an obligation. It's a choice. It's a choice. And so it's natural desire versus obligated desire. And it's it is so much better when it's genuine desire. Let me tell you a thing or two.
It's almost like people make decisions based on little instinctive stuff like this. Who'd have thunk? You can't negotiate desire, but you sure as shit can parade it around.
We'll get to the super chats, and we're at the 3-hour mark. I was going to get to Jedediah, but I don't know if I'm going to get to it right now. But I do want to point this out, though, because this is a very important point in all of this, is the reason why women get so upset with Fresh and Fit when they say, or Kevin Samuels, that a high value man should be able to cheat, or high value men should have are entitled to cheat. Women get hung up on the male side of this. They go, oh, how dare that man think that he should be able to cheat? How dare he think this, that, and the other thing, right? What we don't focus on, and I should point Myron and Fresh in this direction at some point, is it's the indignation doesn't come from this, well, I should say, alternatively, it comes from this idea that, oh, that man thinks he's all that. He's arrogant. He's a son of a bitch. He thinks he should be able to cheat and have me too. How dare he think that? Because I'm all that and he's nothing, right? Only high value men? No, a high value man wouldn't cheat at all. No, he's the kind of guy who could cheat. And you know what? There's nothing that is more attractive than a man who could cheat. And you don't want to. You don't want some broke ass dude that other men don't want, or other women don't want to get, or men for that matter,
well, that's the thing.
Don't want to get with.
Yeah, because these girls are frontal lobe thinking about this, and that's not how it works. The limbic brain is what justifies it.
And remember when we talk about solipsism? Oh, what does Rolla mean? He thinks women are solipsistic. Yes, there it is right there. Because they only cast that when you say a high value man should cheat. You know what they think about? Themselves. The first thing they think about is themselves. They don't think about the larger dynamic. And the larger dynamic is this, that women find guys with dark triad personality traits who could cheat irresistible. That's why. And you know what?
That doesn't count. That's just a feeling. Heart wants what it wants.
We don't steer it that way. Yeah, exactly. We always think about the interests of the women and not the interests of the man. And so what happens is, because we focus on that, we don't focus on the unflattering truth that the fact is that a guy who could cheat, the guy with the Machiavellianism and narcissism and everything, that guy is catnip to most women, and they're more than willing to share that guy, even though they won't publicly say that because it goes against their own best interests if they say they would share that guy.
That son of a bitch.
They don't want, women will never want to, they never, first of all, if there's ever a dynamic where there's a conflict between men and women, it's usually because of the understanding of whatever that dynamic is from a female perspective and from a male perspective. And because we live in gynocentric times, we only think about it in what works best for women because we think that that is the correct way of thinking about it. So when the correct way is, well, a man shouldn't cheat because it's in the best interest of women, we don't go, I wonder if it's in the best interest of guys to be able to be attractive enough to be a man who other women want to get with and other men want to be, and therefore they could cheat. Why is it that
that's too much thinking, man? I'm going to stick to those points.
I know that doesn't make for a very good after hours show, quite honestly, but it makes for a great pre-show. So maybe we'll get to that on when I'm out there in Miami. But they don't, because it's an unflattering truth. It's very unflattering to women that women find dark triad personality. They want to fuck Iron Man. They want to fuck Batman. They don't want to fuck like Captain America and Superman. They don't want to fuck a beta. They will cater their lives and change their lives and work shitty, soul-crushing jobs to avoid having to ever be attached to a beta male. But then when you say, yeah, and the reason for that is because you think you deserve a dark triad, Dark Knight, Maverick, Iron Man, alpha male superhero. And they don't, that's what gets lost in the men should be able to cheat discussion. Like people say, well, you're a high value guy. How come you're saying you've never cheated? So what happens is the definition is this: if you're not cheating as a man, you're not a high value guy. No, you could here's the other option. The other option is this: you could be the kind of guy that other men want to be and other men want to bang, and you're with a woman and you go, you know what? I could cheat, but I'm not going to because I'm in love with you and I have a responsibility to you, but I also have authority over you, and I also have a genuine desire to be with you, and you give me no reason to cheat, so therefore I could, but I'm not going to. That's way different.
It's your life, whatever.
Yeah, that's way different than saying, well, you're not cheating, and so therefore you're not a high value guy. No, you could still be the guy who could cheat and you're not cheating, but you're still the guy who possibly could do so. In fact, I would say that is the key to polarity in a healthy relationship. When there's a little bit of anxiety, when there's a little bit of, I want to make sure that I suck him off before he goes out to Miami. That's what I'm talking about. So it's not about the cheating that qualifies you as the high value man. It's the high value man that qualifies you as the guy who could cheat.